Hello.
All right. Okay. Okay. So I just want to give you a speech a little bit about pregnant inmates and how they're being treated all across the country. Some of them are not being treated well, and we need to bring that up and get informed. And so, a recent article in 2010, it's called Shackled Pregnant Prisoners, Historic Change. So there's this pregnant inmate. Her name was Nelson. She entered the Arkansas prison system 6 months pregnant. Nelson was forced to be shackled and reshackled to her bed during the final stages of her birth. She was forced by her officer to be shackled. Nelson was incarcerated for credit card fraud and passing hot checks. Nelson sued the prison and the officer and stated that he inflicted cruel and unusual punishment by forcing her to be shackled during her labor in the violation of the civil rights under the 8th Amendment of the Constitution. So if you have ever witnessed a birth, that is the most painful thing you could ever go through. Women go through it at least once or twice their lifetime, and it is just this pain that is unbearable. And so if you can imagine the worst pain of your life and being taped or being locked on your bed without being able to grab anything or anyone, it is just horrible. Nelson brought this case to 3 judges, and they actually appealed and decided that Nelson could not sue the prison or the officer. The decision was ultimately reversed, and it deemed a historic. Many states now have passed the law of prohibiting shackling of pregnant inmates. The most recently in 2010 was Pennsylvania. So there was this other article as well. It's called, it was actually in Illinois. It was in Cook County. So an African-American prisoner there, she was pregnant, and she was calling out to her officer and the doctors that she was in so much pain and that she wanted the shackles to be off. The officer and the doctors did not hear her out and did not want to do anything about it. She was she had so much pain that she couldn't take it anymore, and that she pushed. While she was pushing, the baby came out and actually fell onto the floor and cracked his head open. If you can imagine, the officers went inside, grabbed the baby, grabbed her, and took them to the hospital. In the hospital, the baby was declared dead. If you can just think about that, the one thing that you are thinking about, having your baby, having him there, and just finding out that he's dead because no one could have helped you. That could have been prevented if the officer and doctors would have just gone in, checked up on her, took off the shackles, asked what was going on, but they did not want to listen. They did not have that program or anything like that they could prevent. So that's just sad. 18 states right now have prohibited shackling of pregnant inmates. Arkansas is not one of them. And I asked an officer personally why the jails or prisons here did not want to do that. So he said that they're criminals. Why should we treat them differently? I asked him what he would do if a woman would cry out to him and say, "Hey, I'm in pain, can you help me?" He said that he would do something because he didn't have a medical degree, but if he did, he would say no. What kind of person says that? What kind of person says that if they had an education, they would say no to this person? I think that is just horrible. And statistics are showing that the women in jail is increasing. Women are going to jail really fast, and it has increased by 757%. And it is crazy how fast they're going to jail and not being helped. So there's this program in Nebraska, York. So a nurse, her name is Renee. She served as a teacher until she became supervisor in this jail. So she wanted to bring up this program. It's called the Nursery and Parenting Program. It's been there for 8 years, and she basically runs everything with the little babies. So what she does is that she just teaches the mothers how to act with their kid, how to treat their kid, how to love their kid. She gives them GED classes as well. She wants to get them educated, because the more that they're educated, the more that they know, and the more that they can succeed in life. That's what she believes. She says that her this program is so rewarding to her, because she gets to see the women, she gets to feel their pain, she gets to just endure it with them. And so she has been with 80 inmates, 80 pregnant inmates, and only 20 of them come back to her each year and tell her how they're doing. Can you imagine those 20 women? They're successful now. They're doing a lot better than they were before, because of that program, because they got educated, because they were treated differently. They were treated like they could do something. Yeah, they made a mistake, but they were educated on how not to make the mistake again, because that's what we need. We need to educate our criminals, our people, everyone, that, we do make mistakes, but that we can repair it by going back and doing the right thing. So she teaches a couple of classes there, which I think that every single state should start doing. We need to put in those programs into our prisons and teach our criminals that, hey, you made a mistake, yes, you did this, but you can also change your life. You can also do great things, especially pregnant inmates. I mean, they have a baby. They're not innocent, but their baby is, and why condemn them for it, She gets all kinds of letters from them, and I believe that with this program, we can do so much. So thank you so much for listening to my speech. And I gave you a little bit of some pictures, some visual aid to show you a little bit about the mothers.